Oh shit, what the fuck is this? Another episode of the After Dark podcast. Um I just sorry. I just came back from dinner. Uh Kai and them wanted to go get Applebee's for some reason, so I tagged along since I was invited. Um so that's why I look like this. Also, it's just now hitting 12. I am not gonna I'm not going to sleep anytime soon. I gotta work at 5, so I'm not I'm not going to sleep. So I just decided to do another episode of the pod, and I figured that this could be a good way for me to vent, talk, you know, almost like a journal, because I stopped actually writing. Kinda, I write in my notes like every if things get like really bad, but I feel like this would be a good way for things to not get really bad. Um, yeah. So things aren't like bad, but you know how like stress gets. You know, if you don't handle stress, it starts to pile up, and then it builds up, and then like the smaller shit like makes you tweak. Um, and I'm kind of like at that halfway point. Like yesterday, was it yesterday? See, like I don't even remember. I'm losing like sense of time, but I think it was yesterday. Um, I was feeling a lot of emotions, and um, I yeah, I was just feeling a lot of emotions, and then I started crying in the car. Like I wasn't even sad. Like I had a decent day at work, but I just started crying in the car for some fucking reason. Well, I know why, but I was crying in the car. And um then as I was talking about a couple of days ago, like with the whole thing with my parents going away, um they weren't home. Like everybody was gone because they had to like deal with court shit. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's court shit. So they were dealing with that. So everybody was gone, but my parents slash family don't like to tell me things because they think that they'll spare my feelings. Or as my dad says, we don't know how you'll react. Um, but I got home and then nobody was fucking here, and then that I was like, well, I guess this is like usually, well, this is what like life is gonna be like, which is fine. I have no problem going home to like nothing, but it's just the circumstances that are like at this point surrounding it. Um, it just made me like think worst case scenario, but um, hold on. Um, Zach was asking, or Kai was asking if Zach can go to the Discord, which, yes, you can come to the Discord. Anybody's welcome to the Discord. Um, but, yeah, so, I was, I got home, there's nobody here, I was like, damn, this is what it's gonna be like, I'm not gonna have, like, nobody here. And again, that's fine, I've come home to nobody before, or I've woken up and nobody was here, but it's the circumstances that are surrounding why they wouldn't be here instead of them just like going somewhere not telling me. So that made me feel a little sad. And then, um, like, I'm sure people know, like, when you are having like a bad day or like you're really stressed or feeling like a lot of emotions, and then you like get your headphones caught on like a fucking on like a doorknob or some shit, and that's like your last fucking straw. Well, I stubbed my toe. I was putting my shit down, and I stubbed my toe, but it wasn't like just a small stub. Like I fucked up the skin on my toe. Excuse me. So I like fucked my shit up, and like I think it was the first time where I audibly went like I don't. I talk about JJK a lot, but it's like the first thing that came to my mind. It was Toto when he was staring into the sky and that nigga was crying. That's literally what I did. I just went into this. I looked up into the sky and I tried to stop myself from crying, and I was like, can I just have one thing fucking go my way, please? Just not even today, just one thing, please. I was like, I don't know what I have to do for one thing to go my fucking way. And then I didn't sleep and I had to go to work at 4:30 this morning, and my fucking my tire pressure was low, so I went to Kroger and they didn't have any air, and then I went to Circle K and they didn't have any air, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just go to work. So I went to work. I got off. My tires were still fucked, so I went to another Kroger. Didn't have air. I went to Circle K again. They didn't have any fucking air. And then I had to drive all the way to a Sprint. And it was like this specific Sprint just had sentimental value to it. And I haven't been like down in that area in a very long time. And then I like walked inside and I was like, hey, just wanted to ask, these all air work? Because I saw a does not work sign on that bitch. Or no. I went to another gas station before I went to the Sprint, and I saw they had air. I was like, yes, finally, thank you. Like, they don't have, like, you know, I can get this shit done. I don't have to worry about it. Because originally I was just going to say, fuck it, I'm going home. And I bought some random ass Skittles. I didn't even eat them. And I got changed, but they only took coins, so I had to get changed. So I had $2 worth of fucking coins. And then when I put it in the machine, it didn't fucking work. So I just wasted like $7, which I could have used for gas because my tank is almost on E. And then that's when I went to the Sprint, and I went inside and I was like, yo, does y'all shit work? Because like I don't see, like, it says a do not work sign. They're like, yeah, you just kind of have to pray, see if it works. It's iffy. And I was like, all right, bro. Because I really did not want to go to Augusta. Yeah, I try not to go to Augusta anymore. So like I don't go to like the movie theater or the fucking. I'm going to eventually, but I try not to go to Augusta if I don't have to. So I took a leap of faith and it worked, thankfully. But then I realized that I have 4 different fucking tires, so they all take different. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm like, I have 4 different tires, so each tire has a different psi. Like the one that I had to fill up was 44. The one on my the front passenger side is fucking 55. The one on the left side, the left driver's side, is also 44. The one on the right side is 44. So I was like, damn, now I'm gonna have to get new tires. And then there's a piece of my car that's fucking dangling off. It's not like my bumper or anything, or like my fender. It's just like a part underneath it for some reason. I don't know. It's just like hanging, so I have to find a way to put that back. But I just decided to, I don't know, in the midst of all the fuck shit that's happening to me right now, I just decided maybe it'd be best if I, again, put some positivity into the world. And I have this one coworker who has COVID, and she's very she's very outwardly bubbly, if that makes sense. Like she's very sweet, very like kind and caring, and she's very like optimistic. And one thing that I asked her was if you could give one piece of advice to anybody, like if you had could give one definitive piece to anybody who asked, what would it be? And she said, "Don't get married." And I'm like, "I want to get married." I was like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "Don't get married too soon." Something along those lines. Um, and she hasn't been to work in a minute because she got COVID. And I I know when I caught COVID, I caught it at a bad time in my life. So I was when I caught it, I wasn't able to see my brother, and who's like my fucking role model. Like my older brother, I love that nigga to death. Excuse me, I love that dude to death. Um, and he's the reason, partly why I'm like the way that I am in terms of like being nerdy or like being into like white shit, like skateboards and fucking video games and anime and shit. It's because my older brother got is the reason why I got into it. Um, but I caught it when he was able to come finally see us, and it was when he just had his daughter, so my niece, and I wasn't able to like see him or hug him or like um any of that shit. And then everybody just treated me like I had the fucking plague, and I I've never felt like more of a fucking outcast than when I had the fucking vid. Um, and I was just when I had it, I was like I was just in a very terrible fucking place because I couldn't do a lot of the things that I wanted to do. I couldn't work. I couldn't lay. At this time, I wasn't at home. Like I couldn't like lay in like the actual bed that we had. I couldn't get hugs and shit. No hugs, no kisses and shit. And I really needed it at the time. I was in a very dark fucking place. I was just listening to like Poison Tree over and over and over again. Not to sleep in the fucking living room with a blanket. Um, yeah, I lost my taste, all that shit. I was just in a dark place and I felt like fucking shit. But I know that sometimes she lets her facade like break, and sometimes she gets sad at work, and I feel bad because she's like a bright person, and between her family, her like husband, or her marital things, and like her kids, and then work, and then her own like mental struggles, I know it can get a lot. So I made her a little basket, like a get well soon basket, because I'm not the type of person that'll tell you I appreciate. I like verbally, I'm not the type of person that'll tell you I appreciate you, but again, I guess I'm like a tsundere, if you know what that is, where I'll pretend like I don't like you, pretend that I don't want you around, but I really appreciate it, because she's always checking up on me. At least when she's around, she'll check up on me. Um, so I just wanted to wish her a speedy, healthy recovery. And again, I know that it's hard to have COVID, have the vid, and then be in her situation where she's always got some fucking fog in her brain. So I made her a get well basket, because she deserves it. And I made her like a get well basket with like incense and flowers and shit. And then I like wrote a card like, "Hey, get well. I know shit's hard. Please take care of yourself. I know it's like sometimes we forget to do so." So I just did that for her. And then it is another one of my coworkers' birthday, so I made them like a little birthday thing. Yeah. And then I was at work today, and all of my, for some reason, I don't know how this happened, but all of my coworkers just magically seem to fucking have boyfriends and girlfriends and fucking partners that they've just magically acquired for some apparent reason. I say magically, but I just never like asked or anything. But for some reason, like everybody is just like, yeah, boyfriend, girlfriend, blah 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 blah. I'm like, damn, I didn't know y'all were in fucking relationships. I knew a couple of them were because they like their partners would actually come to like the store, but I was like, damn, I didn't know y'all was in relationships. I was like, is everybody in a fucking relationship here? I was like, god damn. And I was like, and then I was like, damn, bro, what the fuck? And then one of my coworkers, like I was taking orders today. Before I left, one of my coworkers was like, "Can you let me know when that person gets to the window because that's my hubby?" And I was like, it must be nice. It must be fucking nice, yeah. And they're like, Eric, are you good, bro? And I was like, yeah, I wish you guys nothing but the best. I wish you guys fucking happiness. It must be nice to fucking lay up and watch vintage Halloween movies like fucking Halloween Town, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It must be fucking nice to be able to watch Jeepers Creepers with somebody on a cold fucking morning or a cold night. I wish you nothing but the best of fucking luck and happiness in your relationship. And then one of my coworkers was like they were on a support position, and they're like, "Do you guys need anything?" And I was like, "I need a fucking hug." And one of my coworkers just like turned me like this. Well, people know that I don't like being touched, so she was kind of just like, and I was like, you know what? Yes, I will allow this. And it was like a 1.5 second hug or so. But that shit almost made me cry. And it's almost making me cry now because I really fucking, even if it was small and it was trivial, it was just that I haven't been like hugged in a very long time. So and even if it was like, and there was nothing behind it. It was just like let me just entertain this fucking nigga. There's his fucking his idiocy for a second. It's still I still really fucking needed it. Like I really needed that hug. And again, even if it wasn't like a long ass fucking embrace, it was just a side hug type shit. Like I really needed that shit. And I miss getting hugs. So that made me feel a little bit better today about everything. And I don't know if I'll let anybody else hug me, but just in that moment, I was just like, I will allow this to happen. I'll allow myself to let this happen. So I got the hug, and then I was like, when I went out and bought like all the shit from my coworker for like the birthday shit and the good little shit, I just bought her some candy. And I said, thank you for the hug. I said, gracias por la, I don't know how to say hug in Spanish. I was just say, gracias por la hug. And I just put some candy in the back room for her to have. But yeah, I don't know. I've been like really weird between wanting to have relationships and being by myself, because I think I've been by myself so long to the point where like I'm really like, I really just expect to be alone. Like I just don't think that I'll end up with like any meaningful connections. Even like my connections with Angel and them are like slowly starting to fucking dwindle because I'm not pulling away, but I stopped putting myself in positions to to like interact with them. And I guess you could say I'm pulling away with them because I just don't. Most of the time, they're like, "Hey, you do anything?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I don't feel like talking right now, or I don't feel like talking today." So I guess you could say I'm pulling away. Um, but I'm just finding myself less and less really having like meaningful interactions with anybody. Like besides work, like because I have to talk to people, and it's always very superficial and surface level, and no one like actually tries to like talk to me, and I don't try to like get to know anybody like on a deeper, more intimate level. Coworkers and customers alike. Um, I just don't. I just don't talk to anybody. I don't find myself talking to anybody, and I don't know if that's something that I truly want or if it's something that I'm just doing now out of like my impulse. But I'm finding myself being more and more alone, and I guess a part of me is okay with that, but a part like I have no choice but to be okay with it. But a part of me like enjoys being alone. Um, and then a part of me really wants to like have that connection with somebody again, like that intimate connection with that very intimate connection that gets deep and that gets profound and fucking it gets it gets almost too much to handle, overwhelming even. And a part of me hopes, or not hopes, but misses that and wants that, and not even in a romantic sense, like just in like a human to human kind of way. Because for those who don't know, I'm in school right now to be a psychology major because I want to figure out mainly because I want to figure out what the fuck is wrong with me, as do most psychology majors, but because I also want to be a therapist in the future, hopefully, maybe one day, we'll see. Um, but yeah, I wanted to why did I bring that up? See, this is why my memory is so bad. My short-term memory is bad. Why did I bring that up? My mom says it's the beginning. It's early onset fucking dementia, which isn't funny, but I wouldn't be surprised. Um, I don't remember why I brought that up. But yeah, I find myself wanting to have these deep relationships with people, and yeah, I find myself not really. I don't know. I find myself stuck between the both the both worlds right now. But I don't know. I guess there's not much I can really do. There's not much I can really complain about. Yeah, but Kai and them invited me out tonight. And well, I say in them, but it was literally just Kai. He was like, "Hey, we going to eat? Do you want to come?" And I said sure, because I said if I get invited to something, I'll go, because I never do anything and I don't leave the house and I don't interact with anybody. So I know for a social, like looking at it from a social perspective, I probably, even a mental health perspective, I probably should get out of the house and like actually interact with people. But usually they forget about me when they plan shit like this, or they just don't like they just don't think about me. Which is also fine, because usually I'm not really like interested in half of the stuff that they do. Even if I don't find things interesting now, I still would like people to like invite me or think about me, but take me into consideration when doing things like this, because I would rather sit in the presence of other people, and I find enjoyment in that, rather than like actually whatever the act actually is, or the activity, or whatever the case may be. Like, even if I don't, like tonight, even if I don't eat, which I did eat, because I didn't eat anything all day. But even if I don't eat, like, just sitting down in the presence of other people and just having conversation and just talking about dumb shit, meaningless fucking banter that doesn't have any, like, significance, I still enjoy that part of it. And I don't think people, like, really gather that I do, because again, I don't tell them, but I don't know. I guess I'm at the point now where I'm really like I've isolated myself so much. I'm really fucking I'm really like yearning for some type of human connection, and I don't know if I'm not allowing myself to, or if I'm just like that type of person who just doesn't want to fucking be around people, you know. It may be a bit of both. Again, I may be walking in circles here, but maybe a bit of both. Maybe I am that person that doesn't want to be around people, and maybe I am that person that's just who maybe I'm like that person that needs to have connection, like that connection with somebody, with just like one or two people, which is fine. I don't need everybody to fucking like me. I don't need everybody to be my best friend, and I don't need to have a bunch of I don't need to have a multitude of these very intricate, fucking passionate, intimate connections with a multitude of people. I don't need that. I would rather just honestly, I'd rather just have one person I could fucking like sink all my time and effort into, and then that brings me to like the concept of relationships at this point in my life. Yeah, maybe it's because it's like cuffing season, as they say, where because it's I think like the actual like reason behind why it's called cuffing season is because it's colder, and as humans, like an innate thing that we do is we seek out other people's body heat. So it's more common for us to want to be around people when it's cold. So that's why a lot of people get in relationships. So I think that maybe that's playing a part in it, but or why I'm like yearning for. I'm not yearning for it. Maybe I am. I don't know. I'm trying not to lie to myself because there's no reason to lie. But maybe a reason why I'm like looking for that closeness is because it is like that time of the year that that time of the year that people usually do. I yeah, I've just been thinking about the like the concept of a relationship and what like truly what the vision of me in a relationship would look like. I don't think I'm ready for a relationship, but well, I wouldn't say I don't want to be in a relationship, because if I could fall in love today, I would fucking do it in a heartbeat. But I can't just magically like fall in love with somebody. Like there's a lot of things that I still have to work through. And a lot of things I still need to get over before I can even think about getting in a relationship with anybody. And then the question arises, well, do I actually want to be in a relationship with anybody? And then all this extra shit. But I digress. Yeah, so I was just thinking about like what a relationship would look like to me at this point. And I think that I think that I'm crazy. I think that I'm crazy. And not like in a, I guess, not in like a, not in like a traditional sense or like even a literal sense, but I think that the concept of love and relationships have so greatly changed, like my perspective on them has so greatly shifted and changed from high school and even like a year or two after high school. Like my whole view has shifted so drastically, and it's like the way that it shifted and changed, like it literally has like it has quite literally opened my eyes and made me like not and people, I know I say that a lot, or even people, you may hear a lot from other people, it's like, oh, I've opened my eyes, I see the light now, like whatever the fuck else. But like it truly has like opened my eyes, and like my mind has never been fucking clear in terms of like what the value of a relationship, or like having a very intimate, romantic, and passionate connection with someone like that. Even like it's so like complex and vast that it's like even hard for me to even fathom, and to like cohesively like put into words. And when I like not experienced it, but when I like actually really sat down and thought about it and came to that like that understanding, like everything that I knew has like fucking just changed. And that again, I bring it back to, that's why I think that I'm fucking crazy. Cause I I and I don't know, maybe I'm just talking a lot of shit because I haven't been in a position to where I can actually put the new the new me like into practice, and actually like execute a lot of the things that I fantasize about or think about, or even fucking or even like consider. S but I only have I only have this template to go off of, which is what I was in the past, who I was in the past, who I was with in the past. Or um, I'm trying not to bring old shit up because I said I wouldn't do it anymore. But I'm trying not to. I'm trying to think about me in relationships instead of um like that relationship and that person. I'm trying not to well, it's hard to, because love never leaves you. Once you're in love, it never leaves you, at least I think. And you can't change that. You just kind of forget about it after a while. You just repress it after a while. um and that's why there's so many stories of people who, when they like leave their first love, or then their first love don't work out, and then like 4 or 5 years down the line they meet it, they like see him again randomly, and then like that spark is like immediately there. You see it in movies, you read it in books, you see it in articles, you see it like all over the fucking place. You see people's like their fucking happily ever after stories. um I believe that love, if you're like truly like madly in love with somebody, then you just repress it, and you just learn to live with that. Which I think a lot of people are doing nowadays, but that's besides the point. um yeah, so I think that I am crazy, and I think that love is, it's probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I mean that like quite literally, like in all, like in every single word that I just said. Love is quite possibly the best thing that ever happened to me. And it not even just love, but understanding it as well. And I like I like it's so it's so beautiful, and it's so like like it's so mind numbing. Like that's, you can, because I think of there's something very human in the way that we interact with other people, because again, that humans are very we're very social creatures, and we're never meant to be alone. We're not meant to be alone. Even like the loneliest person, one person could like change their entire fucking perspective on that, or one broken person can get their entire world changed with just one right person coming along can change everything about one person and their perspective. But for better or for worse, and I may have changed somebody's perspective for worse. I may have changed it for the better. You never know. But when there's something very human in the way that we interact with people and the way we connect, and I think that it's so fascinating that you can even our bodies, before we even know it mentally, our bodies react to the feeling, to the stimulus of love. And I think that the fact that our bodies can react before our mind or our heart even fucking knows is so crazy. Like you can see somebody for the first time, or you can see somebody that you're in love with, and your fucking pupils will dilate, hearts start beating a million miles an hour. I've been in situations, well, I say situations, but it was only ever with like one person, where like I thought that they were so fucking stunning, I started stuttering. Like unironically, I started fucking stuttering. And I don't stutter. I feel like I say a lot because I'm trying to collect my thoughts, and I'm trying to cohesively put things in a way that I'm okay with. Because for a long time I wasn't really like well spoken verbally. I could write relatively well, and I could express my thoughts and feelings well if I wrote them down, but verbally I was never able to do so because I just never talked about anything. So I would verbally fucking stutter. Like you get the butterflies in your stomach, heart start racing, and even like anxiety, like your hands start shaking, all this other shit. And I think that's fascinating in and of itself. But even past that, like just the concept, we only have one life. We only have one life, that we only have one physical life, and then spiritually we have our second life. And I think like after we die spiritually, we have our second life. Then after that, there's no, I don't know what the afterlife holds. I don't know if there's an afterlife, but I do believe that spiritually that's our second life. We have our mortal life and our spiritual life. And then after you after or you have this one life, and this is all you get physically. And I think that there's something so beautiful in seeing one person and finding everything about them so beautiful, so wickedly unique, and so charming, that you decide that this is the one person out of the millions in the world. This is the one person that I think I want to spend the rest of my life with, that I want to build a foundation with, that I want to build some type of future, that I want to build some type of some quite, quite literally, I want to build a fucking fortress with this person. Everything that encompasses them, mind, body, and soul, their fucking worst days, their best days, everything that makes them tick. I want to know. I want to live and fucking breathe this person. I want to figure out what is their favorite thing, what is their worst thing, their favorite color, what their shoe size is, what the fuck their favorite fucking food is, how to cook it, because I love them so much and I want them to have the best things in life. Like going to the mall or Walmart or the store or whatever, and seeing something, and when not even thinking about them, you just see something and something clicks in your mind. You're like, maybe they'll like this, right? Like I think that there's something so wickedly fucking beautiful about that, and that and not to say I haven't like experienced that, but to the degree that I like everything is like so sensitive to me now, and the way that I experience and the way that I navigate, like, and I don't know, maybe I had like this emotional fucking like emotional and mental rebirth about things, and that's why everything is so fucking sensitive to me now. But maybe that's why I'm feeling this way. But yeah, I think that there's something so fucking beautiful in that, and just saying I want to be with this person for the rest of my fucking life. and then sharing all that time and passion with somebody else, and being able to wake up next to the warmth of somebody else, or being able to fucking spend the small moments in like engulfed in somebody else's presence, or engulfed in somebody else's fucking time, and just the small things like just staring at somebody and looking at all the intricacies of their face, or seeing like if they have freckles, counting every freckle on their face, like 187, or seeing like that birthmark that they have, or like tracing the fucking skin on their hands, or like or just watching them like talk about some shit that they really passionately fucking enjoy, and you see like the sparks in their fucking eye light up as they just go on and on and on and on and on and on, and you just sit there and you just find yourself in that moment. You just commit to that moment, you commit to that person, and you just watch them just talk about the shit that they love, that they're passionate about, and you just don't say anything, you just watch. Or you just, or you guys get to the point where you just like everything just becomes an intimate act of fucking like an intimate act of understanding, and you guys are like, you get to the point like you wash your hair, you fucking you have a system, you wash your hair, she fucking she like, just as an example, like she's you know that like every afternoon after work you see that she's always reading her book, so you just come and sit in between her lap, and she just reads her book and has one hand like massaging your head, or fucking, I don't know, you guys are watching a movie, and instead of her laying on you, she decides to let you lay on her, and you just hear a heartbeat. Or when you make her nervous, you say something that makes her nervous, or you say something that makes her heart jump, and you can hear her heart rate spike. Or if you lay on her stomach and you hear her fucking like, just there, I don't know, I just find something so there's something so soothing, there's something so pleasantly beautiful about that, and I find myself thinking about it a lot, and I think of the me that's crazy about love now, what I may be capable of in a relationship, and how I might handle it now, like just looking at someone and being so madly in love with them that all of the world just fucking, like everything in the world just fucking disappears for a second. Like the world, like the idle chatter just fucking stops. The world just slows down a little bit. Time stops. And it's just you and the person that you're in love with. And I don't know if it makes me crazy to want that, or to even want to protect it. But love is, again, it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And I've been in a version of that love. I've had a version of that love. And that's a love that I still think back on a lot. But it was a very juvenile love, in the sense that I hadn't fully, like, at the time I didn't quite fully like understand what love, like the power, the effect that love actually had, because love is quite literally a drug. It's that dopamine fucking rush, that serotonin that you get. It's quite literally it's a physical chemical fucking drug that we have in our body. So that's why they say love is a drug, and love makes people crazy. I've seen love. Love has made me crazy. I've done some crazy shit for love. And like I'm not a violent person at all. But there's a time where someone I was in love with was having a bad day at work, and I say was in love with, but they were having a bad day at work, and they said people were like fucking with them, and I pulled up to their job, and I had a knife on me. I wasn't gonna do anything, like I wasn't gonna hurt nobody, but I was like, I was like I will, like this person quite literally has my fucking heart, and if anything like jeopardizes that, they have to die. I can't like do without like this, and um like I'm a very like neutral, docile person, so it takes a lot to get me to do some shit that fucking like dramatic. um but yeah, love is crazy. Love will make you crazy, and I think about the me that I am today with all my emotional maturity and all of my growth, what a love like that from a person like me would be like. And I think first it would be very scary for me and whoever it is that I ever find myself with. um and again, I don't know if I'll ever find myself in another relationship, but I don't know if that. I think that it'll be scary, and in this day and age, a lot of people aren't. They're not adept to dealing with scary love. But I want my love to be. I want my world to be otherworld, or I want my love to be otherworldly. I want it to transcend what the general fucking means, the norms of what is perceived as love, because I think that a lot of the times the love that people express and show outwardly, at least in this generation, isn't like, it may be your form of true love, but I don't know, it's not something that I consider mine. But I want it to be otherworldly. I want it to be perceived as cosmic, even. Like, I want them to know that, like, like nothing fucking matters. Like, at the end of the day, I know that Eric, this black fuck right here, loves me unconditionally with every fiber of his being, and if I asked him to chop off his arm, he fucking would. And he wouldn't even ask why. But I want my love to be deep. I want it to be bold. I want it to be fucking visceral. I want it to be tangible. I want it to be untangible. I want it to be felt in every single pore of the fucking body. And I want it to be terrifyingly fucking beautiful. I think, at least. And I think that that's a love that I want to have. I don't want it to be easy. And love isn't easy, love is hard. But I want it to be, at the very least, rewarding. I want it to be, I want it to be wicked. And maybe I'm just in my hopeless romantic phase, because I listen to nothing but fucking Lovey, whatever, however the fuck. I think it's Love, however you pronounce your name. But I just listen to nothing but her. Like, my most listened to artists are Summer Walker and Love, which is crazy because I just found out about her like months ago. And not through TikTok. I was listening to this bitch's music before she fucking started popping up on TikTok. Thank you, Spotify DJ. But yeah, I listen to a lot of like R&B, a lot of like deep music that's rooted in love and the concept of love and being in love with somebody else. I listen to a lot of music that basically is nothing but that. And it's like I listened to it before, but not as like I don't like I listen, but I never listen. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to it, I'm like, oh, this is nice, nice melody, nice whatever the case may be. But now I actually fucking listen, and like I take in everything that there is to be heard, like every word, every syllable, every potential meaning in the words. Like like Summer Walker, um, is it deep? I think it's deep when she says, hold on, because I have to do it. I have to do it justice. When she says, I wish you could come home, but I'm just trying to balance my space. I'm just trying to protect my space. I don't really need the pain, but but I love to feel the pain. Maybe I could use a break, so we just might have to wait, because we're way too in love just to fucking let go, because we're way too involved just to cut and not call. And then she goes on her hook way too in deep, or whatever the case may be. Um, and like every word, like and music has been like a medium for me to be able to express my emotions, to be able to regulate my emotions, most importantly, because I listen to music every time I get it. Every I am never without music. Like even tonight when I was at dinner, I had music. When one of my coworkers invited me to her church, and I was listening to music then. Um, yeah, I'm not religious, but I just went because she invited me, and again, I said I will go if you invite me to something. Um, but yeah, there's something so beautiful in words, and Summer Walker, and even SZA. I listen to a lot of SZA's like everybody's fucking favorite on the album was Kill Bill, like I Might Kill My Ex, which um yeah, sometimes you love somebody so much you don't want anybody else to have them, and you think about taking them off the world, but that's not the right thing to do, and I do not endorse that. But I would be lying if I never said that. I didn't relate to that. Anyway, um, but my favorite song on her album was Snooze. Snooze and Love Language. I love Snooze and Love Language the most. Um, like Love Language is so fucking like talk to me in your language. Tell me. I'm trying to listen to it now because I haven't listened to it in a minute because I moved on to a lot of Love. But talk to me in love language. Show me, yeah, how to connect to you. Help me understand. Show me you speak your love language. Like shit like that. It's like it's something so like so obvious, but like I don't think anybody ever really sits down and is like yeah, like show me like what your fucking love language is. Show me how I can treat you better. Show me how I can touch you better. Show me how I can make you feel loved and cared for. And I think it's very like I don't think anybody like genuinely sits down and like thinks about that shit. And maybe they do. Maybe I'm underestimating like people and like being in love, but I think that it comes at like a like when people are like that, it comes at like a greater like you usually from what I've seen, you usually think like that once it gets too far, like to a certain point. Um, like when things are like wrong, then that's when you think about that. But it's you need to like, let me get in a relationship right now. Like, bitch, I'm trying to fucking, like, I'm trying to eat my way into your skin and wear you as a suit type shit. Like, I want you to fucking carve your name into my chest, like, and that's why I say I'm crazy. Um, but like, that's the type of shit that I want. That's the type of love that I want. I want it deep. I want it scary. I want it bold. I want you to think that it'll kill you, you know. Or maybe you don't know, and I'm just saying. I'm just shotting shit, bro. But I want a love that it will fucking drown you and take you somewhere that you've never been before. Take you to places that you've never been before, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, even. Like something so vast and, you know, visceral. Um, and yeah, I just think about the me that is the me that's again gone through all that shit. Like what that would look like. And then I think about like who would even be able to like handle some shit like that, because I couldn't handle some shit like that. At least when it was like thrown at me, I was like, you know, like you shut down. You're like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Especially if you've never experienced a type of love like that before, you're like, this shit is scary. Like I don't like, I don't know how to deal with somebody who fucking wakes up in the morning and cooks me breakfast, or fucking um will do anything that I want them to without question or like any type of retort. Like, I don't know how to deal with shit like that. That shit's scary, especially like when you come from, you're someone like me who's never like actually understood love in like its true essence, or ever had to deal with like it's just like for me, like when I was in a relationship, the only experience I had with the relationship was with my parents, who are fucking dysfunctional as fuck, and very 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 rarely ever had like a positive experience, at least when I was a kid. Like to this day, my mom still, she says she forgave my dad, but um she says she forgives him and she loves him, but for a long time she said that she would blame him for a lot of shit. And I could tell that she was harboring some resentment towards him. And I mean, I get it. I get it. I do not blame her at all, but I wish that instead of my dad like understanding why he was being blamed, or even like trying to do things better, he kind of was just like, we keep doing the same shit, like why do we keep bringing this shit up, like all this extra shit, instead of like actually trying to like right his wrongs, or like even like apologize or do anything like better. He just was like, we're doing this shit again, and you keep throwing this shit in my face, you keep doing this and that and that and this, you said you said sorry, but he never acknowledged that my mom was still hurting and my mom still had some resentment towards him. And that's the only example that I had of love, was just that, and arguing and constant fighting and running away from your issues. I've only ever seen my parents run away from their issues when their relationship issues. Like my mom would leave, my dad would fucking leave. Well, my dad left mentally and emotionally. He just fucking disappeared, and I know because I felt that shit as a kid. Because he just did not fucking care about me emotionally. And he didn't about my mom, but my mom would just physically fucking leave. Like there was one night where my mom, and this shit fucked me up for a long time, and I only told my mom when I one night when I tried to off myself. Well, I didn't tell my mom. Well, my mom didn't know I was trying to off myself. I was just drunk, but she didn't know that I'd done a lot more than just drinking. Which, by the way, please don't mix any type of pills and alcohol. But I was sitting with my mom, and I was like, I was super drunk. I was super fucked up. But it was like in a movie. Like I was sitting with my mom, or so I had drunk a lot, because like that night I was like, I'm done. Like I'm ending it. I told my mom. I was drunk as shit. I walked into my mom's room and I was like, hey, I was like, can I sit with you for a second? Or I was like, can I sit in here? And she was like, yeah. And she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing. I just don't want to be in my room by myself right now. And she like sat on the floor. Like I sat on the floor by her bed and I was listening to Bon Iver, Beach Baby, on repeat. I was just listening to that on repeat, which is now. I have like, and this is really sad because there should be no reason why I have so many. I have like 6 suicide songs. And by suicide songs, I mean songs that I was listening to at the time when I tried to kill myself, and I tried to do that more than you probably should, and more times than would probably warrant me to be in like a mental hospital. I have You Left Me on Suicide Sunday, Beach Baby. I have K by Cigarettes After Sex. And then I can't remember the other 2, and it's probably because I tried to fucking off my shit when I was listening to it that I can't remember them. It was probably a Billie Eilish song. It was definitely a Billie Eilish song. I think it was either Goodbye or I Love You. Or maybe Bitch's Broken Heart. It was one of those 3. And then it was something else. I can't remember the other one. Well, that probably says a lot, and that's probably why my short-term memory is so fucking bad, because I try to off myself with pills so many times. Oopsies. Which is why I'm afraid to get on medication now, because this is getting a little too TMI, but I try to off myself with my dad's antidepressants, and then I tried to off myself twice with Benadryls on 2 different occasions. One time I took, and I was telling Ray's brother, because at dinner tonight we were talking about suicide, because they said something about believing in God or whatever the case may be in the little group chat that I'm not a part of, and I was like, well, I don't know about the suicide thing, but as someone who's tried 4 times and didn't fucking succeed, it may have been more at this point, I don't know, but as someone who's tried, yeah, like, if there was a God, I'm not saying there's not, because I believe in like a higher power, then like I've only told 2 people that I've tried to like off myself, at least the most recent times, and they're like, yeah, dog, you may just want to stop, because it seems like shit ain't working out for you. You may just want to stop at this point. But he was asking me about it. He was like, so how do you fail 4 fucking times? He's like, no disrespect, but how do you fail 4 times? And I was like, I don't know. I just kept waking up. Like the first time I did 12. And then I was like, damn, I'm still alive. Gotta up the dosage. So I went to 23 the second time, and then I drank alcohol with it. And I still woke up. And to this day, don't know fucking how I woke up. Some people say, oh, it's an act of God. I say I was too pussy and I didn't fucking do enough. But that's neither here nor there. Well, I also threw it up, so I tried not to throw it up. But this was a while ago. This was like a while ago. And I wanted somebody to save me, but they didn't get back to me, and that's okay. Yeah, they didn't get back to me, and I wanted, because I genuinely thought that it was gonna be wraps for me. Like I genuinely thought that I was gonna die, but I was clinging on to that because they said that we could talk, and I tried to, you know, they said that we would talk, and I genuinely thought that I was gonna die, because I felt like, if you haven't overdosed before, you literally like you slowly start to lose feeling in your body, and like your fingers start to get cold, and then your arms start to get cold, and you lose feeling in your toes, and everything starts to get cold, and then you start breathing very slowly. At least for me, you start breathing very, very, very slowly, and then it gets harder to keep your eyes open. Your heartbeat starts like beating really slow. At least that's how it went for me. I don't know what people are talking about with the hallucinations on Benadryls, because I didn't hallucinate anything. But you can't stand up. You lose like you're sapped of your fucking energy. You can't stand up straight. You just feel so it physically feels like your life essence is being slurped from your fucking body. And that's what it felt like. I felt like I was, because I don't think no one ever thinks that once they drink like a whole half a pint of moonshine or whatever the big fucking like the big like the big jugs of moonshine are. I don't think anybody drinks half of that and not even slow. I mean like chug that shit and then fucking take 23 Benadryls. I don't think anybody ever thinks they're gonna and then smokes a fucking cart. I don't think anybody thinks they're ever gonna come back from that. And I didn't think I was gonna come back from that, and I tried it. And I was like, hey, can we talk? Cause again, it was one of those things where I was like, I want this person to be the last person that I talk to, and I just want to hear their voice. We don't even have to talk about anything meaningful. I just want them to be the last person that I hear. You know, like when you were a kid and your mom would like talk to you and you fall asleep, or your dad would talk to you and you just fall asleep listening to their voice, or even not even as a kid, just someone that you love or like appreciate or care for. You hear them talking and it's so soothing that you just fall asleep. I wanted that, you know. I just wanted shit to just soothe me to sleep. That and to never wake back up. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Yeah, I don't know if anybody can handle a love like that. But I wonder what I what it would look like from someone like me, at least with everything that I've gone through, with everything that I've experienced, with every emotion that I felt, with every bit of pain and fucking with every bit of pain and love and ecstasy that I felt to this point in my life. At this point in my life, I wonder what it would look like, what it would sound like, what it would feel like to myself and to even somebody else. But there's so many pitfalls when it comes to love and being in a relationship and trying to maintain a relationship. There's so much that goes into it. It's not easy. It's tangible. It's thin. It's very fragile. It can just as it's like a spider web. It's something so small, so delicate, so intricate, and in the grand scheme of things, when you zoom out of the bigger picture, there's so much that encapsulates it, and it becomes it doesn't become just a small like thread. It doesn't become a small strand of web. It becomes like it becomes this entire intricate piece of fucking like, you know, like of feelings and thoughts and emotions and fucking responsibility and obligation, commitment. It just becomes it becomes such a big overarching fucking premise. And there's so many moving parts and so many fucking like pieces to it. So many moving parts, so many pieces to it. And a lot of people don't look at that. They don't take into consideration everything. They don't take into consideration what it is that the foundation of their love is built off of and what type of relationship that they have. They don't take into consideration who the person that you're with is, how they'll react to things, how they interpret things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me personally, like, I'm at a point now where I daydream about being in relationships. Not relationships, a relationship. And I don't know. I only have one person that I ever like think of a relationship with. Well, they're like my template because that was the love. That was the one. That was the love that I was in. For the longest time, and that was the love that. Again, once you're in love with somebody, you just learn to live with it, and you just go about your business, and hopefully something else comes along. But I think about what the me who exists today, the me that I was able to construct with the personality and the thought process and the emotional and mental fortitude that I've crafted for myself and that I've brought up, what I would be able to do and what it would look like. And I think that it would be all the aforementioned shit that I think about, like all that, like the spider web with all the moving pieces. I think it would be something like that. But the thing about relationships nowadays is that they're very hard to maintain because of like societal pressure and because of a lot of people don't have like the same outlook on love or relationships that I do. Like like if I were to ever get into a relationship again, it would have to be with somebody that like I don't even know. Like I don't even know what type of person they would have to be, but I know that it couldn't be like a casual thing. Like I only date if I want a relationship. I've only dated like two people in my entire life where I was just dating them just to date them. Like I didn't date them because like I wanted a like I wanted a wife. I just dated them just to fucking date them. Um, and those were like the worst fucking relationships I've ever had. Um, but there were two people that I dated because I wanted a future with them. One of them did me fucking dirty, and we talk about her on the channel a lot. Um, so that's not even a surprise. Yeah, she fucked me up. She fucked me up. Um, and then, but, um, yeah, I, I don't, I want a future. I want a life. I want a life. I want a wife. I want children. I want someone who, if I, if I text, hey babe, listen, I just killed somebody. We need to get the fuck out of here. Instead of going, why would you do that? What happened? Blah blah blah. She's like, where are we on? How much money we need? Shit like that. Like, I already got passports. I've been waiting for this. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go. Do you need help hiding the body? Type shit. That's the type of relationship that I want to have. I want to have one where we are so close. We are so close knit. No one can come between us. Family, friends, strangers, fucking we can have any type of conversation with any type of dialogue, hard, easy, fucking nasty, scary, it does not matter. We can come to each other understanding that we are having a conversation for the betterment of the relationship, and that no one is being attacked, and we're working towards the common goal of our relationship working out, where we're both in a place of happiness and love. And I want to be in a relationship where I know that I'm cared for and that I'm understood. And then if I have anything, that I can come to them, and that there's an understanding that if I'm having a rough day, if I'm having a shit day, if I'm going through some shit, that it's not their fault. It's not her fault. And there's nothing that she can do to change that. She doesn't need to change herself. She doesn't need to shift her perspective. She doesn't need to fucking become someone else to try to make me happy. Just be herself and just be there in that moment. And I'll get better. I'll be all right. And that her just being herself, and her just caring and loving and just being who she is, will bring me out of wherever it is that I'm at. And, and then I think about doing all this like lovey-dovey shit, like making fucking, like making little gift baskets and bringing to them on their shift, or when they come home, like everything's clean, there's a movie on, there's a show that we watch, like fucking 60 Days In type shit. Everything's all set up, there's fucking couches and shit. There's a couch, there's candles and shit, and I'm wearing a suit and tie, and I open the door, I hear the door unlock, so I run downstairs, and I'm sitting there with my little how waiters have like their little thing, and I open the door and I'm like, madam, no, and I show her, I'm like, if you so kindly. She walks through the door. I take off her shoes because I know that she's been standing on them bitches all day, and them dogs is barking. But dinner is being prepared. If you would like to go upstairs, a bath has been run for you. I will be up there shortly to wash your hair. In the meantime, please make yourself at home. Type shit. Like, just cute shit like that. Just fucking like cleaning out their car, leaving like a big ass fucking note that says "love you" on the windshield while they're at work, or if they're fucking sleeping, they wake up to the smell of breakfast, and I can't cook, so I just went to fucking Chick-fil-A or some shit. Or like dressing up and going to dinner, but pretending that we're someone else. We're leaving like little scavenger hunts around the around the area that we live in. Like, this is the first place that we met. If you go here, you'll find something that I wish I would have told you. And it's just a big fucking balloon that says I love you. And it's like, the second place is like, this is somewhere where we first kissed. Or where you first kissed me. if you go here, you'll find something that I wish I would have done with you. And it's just a big ass fucking dick. No, I'm joking. But knowing me, I would do some dumb shit like that. But I think about doing shit like that, and a part of me wishes that I was able to do that again. I don't know. Just a lot of shit that I've been thinking about. Mainly, yeah. It just I'm trying not to be so sad about everything. Trying not to be so try not to be so you know, trying to look on the bright side of things instead of looking at the fuck shit. And because my TikTok is just nothing but sad shit. It's just nothing but sad shit, which I guess is my bad because I also post nothing but sad shit. Which, by the way, if you'd like to follow me on TikTok, it is Amor's Epitaph, AMORSEPITAPH, and it is a picture of Matilda from Leon the Professional. If you'd like to follow me on TikTok, or you can stalk me. I don't have profile views on, so if you want to stalk me, I'll never know. Yeah, I just got a TikTok that got 3K views, so I don't know. Maybe if you want to look at a bunch of sad ass pictures with dogs and fucking bears with sad ass text over it, you got it. That's usually what I post. But yeah, that's just been my life right now. I'm trying not to be so sad, trying not to take everything so seriously. I need to remember to have fun, because I don't have fun anymore. And even when my mom was like, I asked my mom if she was gonna cook, because if she was, I wasn't gonna go to Applebee's with them. But she said that I'm in the house too much. I sit by myself too much. I need to leave. I need to go out. I need to be with other people. I need to have fun. And it's true, but I don't talk to anybody. I don't really have any friends to go do anything with, and then it's hard to try to coordinate some things with people. So I wish I had like just one friend like I could always just like do something with. Like, instead of, like, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't want to play games anymore. Like, I don't want to sit inside. I don't want to play games. I want to commit to a relationship. I want to commit to like being outside. I want to like have something tangible. I don't want to sit inside and play games anymore. And that's also on me, but because I could go outside, I could go meet people, I could go to clubs, I could fucking find more interest in people. And I wanted to go to Hippie Fest, but my car wasn't fixed, because I've never been like to a festival, like a concert or anything like that. So I wanted to go to a Summer Walker concert. I wanted to go to Hippie Fest again, like I said, but my car was fucked up, and I think it passed. I think Hippie Fest was in March or May. I wanted to go, and then my parents play like such a pivotal role in like everything that I do. Like, even like I was leaving today, and my mom was like, "I know you're 21, but like text us when you do shit." Like, I was telling them that I was just gonna go to Florida and see Darren, and they're like, by yourself? I was like, yeah, I was just gonna go. They're like, no, you're not. Or like, even, and you guys don't see it, but I said I would cut my hair in the last podcast, but my mom does my hair. And I said, I asked her if she could cut it, and she was like, nope, not cutting it. And I was like, granted, I can do things by myself. I have like the agency to do it by myself, and I'm just gonna have to deal with the consequences afterwards. But like, I genuinely don't want to hear them. Like, I don't want to hear the back talk. I don't want to hear like any of that extra shit. So I guess, I don't know, maybe that's me still being like scared or being a bitch about like other people's approval, which in this case would be my parents. So I guess it kind of makes sense. But so now my hair is just super fucking long, and now I really want to cut it. Like, my hair is like ridiculously fucking long. Like, it's like here. It's here at this point. It's up to my titty nipple. Yeah. And then like I'm just thinking because I don't have like a skill to make friends. I have a decent energy like when I force myself to like when I do customer service, like everyone's like, "Oh, I love your energy. You have such a good energy." When I'm not like sad as shit and can't hide it, they're like, "Yeah, I love this nigga. He has like I love this dude. He has like great energy. Like crystals in his hair, fucking always chill as shit. Like I love his energy." Um, but besides that, I like lack the ability to actually make friends or like to make any type of meaningful connections, and it's probably because I'm socially awkward and I like suffer from that really deeply. Like I went to the Dollar Tree today, and I didn't even talk to the cashier. Cashier didn't even say shit to me, but I just started putting everything into the onto the belt, and I immediately started sweating. Like I immediately just broke out into a sweat, which is that's how I used to be when I was a kid. But and it stopped for a while. It stopped for like 2 or 3 years. Um, it stopped for a second because I was like actually happy with life, and then now that like I'm not in a position to where I don't really. Now that I'm not in a position where I have to care about like, how do I word this? Back then it was different because I didn't really have to care about what anybody else really thought about me because I was happy and I had a reason to not have anybody else like care like or to not care about anybody else's like whatever. So I was like, oh, I'm happy as shit. I don't need to care about like anybody's like perception of me, whatever the case may be. Like I have a sometimes when people get really stressed out, they get like shivers, which I get, but I also have my left eye twitches really badly. Like you see it in like cartoons or shit. But I genuinely have it. Like my left eye twitches really badly when I get stressed out or even like anxious. And um I think it's really annoying cuz like I try to cover it up when I'm talking to people, like I always like like move my head around or whatever the case may be. But when I was happy and I didn't have that like constant stress or like social anxiety because I always had somebody. Um I just never had it, and then that was gone, and now I have my twitches came back, my fucking shivers came back. Um and again, I'm scared to get medicated for it because I don't know what the fuck I'll do if I have one bad day. Um and I don't and my mom is trying to force me to get fucking medicated and to see a psychologist again or a therapist again. And I don't think well, I didn't tell her. She knows that I tried to off my shit because I tell them in passing conversation, yeah, I tried to do this shit a while ago and y'all didn't fucking notice, y'all didn't give a shit. Um but um yeah, it makes me nervous. But I guess that's the reason why I lack an ability to fucking like have any type of friends because of that. That's a part of it. Also because I guess I don't allow myself to. But anyways, I don't know. I think about it. I think me. I think I need to just stop being a bitch. Real shit. Men don't talk about their feelings. Tee the fuck up, young man. I guess that's what I tell myself. Yeah, but I don't know. Again, I guess this is all through my own agency, so I can change a lot of the things that I want to address. So we'll see. I'm still growing as a person. I'm still changing. I'm still developing new thought process. I'm still developing new, like values and new ways that I want to approach life, new ways that I want to see things, new lenses that I want to try looking through, new understandings and new things that I want to experience. And it'll all come in time. It'll all come with patience. It'll all come with understanding. And I just need to get there. And I just need to do it. I just need to thrust myself into it. Um, Yeah, I'll get there. I will get there eventually. I will get there eventually. And that's all it's gonna take. Yeah, that's all it's gonna take. I just need to get there. And eventually I will. And hopefully, again, good things come to those who wait. Like, the last time I fell in love. Well, I never really was like, I never really fell out of love. But it's one of those things, like where I said earlier, where you just kind of find yourself, um, it just comes, it just happens again. Like, love just kind of just, like, you don't forget about love, you just kind of learn to live with it, and then you find yourself staring at that person again, and everything just comes rushing back. And that's what happened the last time I was. That's how the last time I was in love went, and I know that like it came at a time where like I least expected it. Like, I didn't want to be in a relationship. I wasn't trying to be in a relationship. I didn't want to rush into a relationship because I knew that I needed to heal and to um I needed to heal, and I needed to get over some of the things that I didn't deal with. And did I? No, I kind of repressed them and just forgot about them, and I should have. I knew I should have. Um, but um, I forgot about a lot of them, and I guess a lot of the reasons that I like a lot of, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it felt like I just needed to deal with a lot of things that I needed to deal with, and I didn't. But like, it came at a time where I was like really fucking depressed, really down, really and I think that love helps heal love. And they were two completely different loves. One was very juvenile, one was very societal in the way that it was very cookie cutter, and there was no like wiggle room for any type of like interpretance or any type of like. And there was an example of relationship where if like I did any type of, where I was basically told, like, if I were to do anything for myself, or if I wanted to, for myself, like speak up for myself, or like having express any grievances or like actual emotions, I was basically chastised and told that I was gonna get broken up with. And it's kind of traumatizing when you're trying to express like some type of discomfort in your relationship, or express some kind of something that you want to address, and their response to it is, I'm gonna put on Snapchat, or their response is to post on Snapchat, I'm gonna drop this nigga, to like all 600 of their fucking followers. That's very discouraging, and it's very like, okay, well, I guess I'm just not gonna say shit like ever fucking again. Or like them constantly talking about how inadequate you are, and how you're not the person that they're not the person that they want you to be, like in terms of fundamentals. Like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry, I'm not a drug dealer, and I'm not a gangster, and I'm not hood, and I don't find interest in your trap music. But I wish that, you would have like appreciated me for who I was, and not say get you a nerdy nigga because they know how to treat you right, and then don't treat the nerdy nigga right. Like, I don't know. I'm just, I'm over it. I am. It may sound like I'm not over it. I am. I genuinely am. But like, just an example of like how all the wrong shit in my life, like all the examples of relationships in the past have, it's really fucked with me and put me on like a wrong path where I felt like everything, like that's all I had, that's all I knew, so I just assumed that is what was, that's what love was. That's just how it is. That's how relationships work. And it's not. And like I said earlier, the love, I could tell that my body wanted a different type of love, that my mind and my heart yearned for a different type of love. But again, when your heart and your mind aren't in sync, then that's when shit gets fucked. That's when shit gets real fucked. And at this point in my life, my heart and my mind are synced. My heart, body, mind, and soul are all synced together. And I'm just curious to see how things would go. I'm just very curious. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I just been thinking about that a lot, and I'm trying not to think about all like. I think I've done a good job of navigating around shit. Literally is not a word. Literally, I guess literally is fine. Literally, verbally, and like conceptually, I feel like I've been doing a good job here in this instance. You know, like navigating around shit. But yeah. I gotta be up for work in, yeah, at this point 4 hours. So, I'm not even tired, but I'm gonna go lay down. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go lay down, and I'm gonna drop another sad TikTok because I just feel like it. But yeah, again, to the 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 1 people that watch this, thank you for tuning into the After Dark podcast. I really appreciate it. You could be spending your time somewhere else, somewhere probably much more wisely in a productive manner. But just know that you are important, you are loved, you are valued, and you bring something to this world that nobody else does. And I hope that you found your purpose, and if you didn't, it's okay, because you will find it when you find your happiness. So find your happiness first and foremost, always. And in case you need to hear it, I am proud of you, and you're doing a good job. Life is hard. Life is, it's fucked. This life is hard. It's not easy. So just do what you can, and I'm sure you probably feel scared, lost, maybe even. And I know for me, when I get home, after I'm rid of all my distractions and I'm not like being a dumbass at work and speaking Spanish and fucking dancing and listening to my music, and I get home and all the lights are off and all the world around me is shut off and there's no more noise, I know the first thing that I start doing is attacking my mind and my worth. And if you're watching the After Dark podcast, I'm going to assume that that's something that you may or may not be doing. So just know, be patient with yourself. Have some patience. Have some patience. You're making progress, and that's all you can ask that's all you can ask yourself. So I'm proud of you for that. And protect the kid in you. That little kid in you deserves a lot. They may not have been treated better, but they deserved a lot. And it's never too late for them to be treated better. So good night, or good morning whenever you're watching this. You guys have a good one. Oh, I gotta tap out on my game.